Baylor. And I think this is a more interesting one to talk about. Because, all right, let me get the poll up. Baylor over 5.5 wins. Baylor under 5.5 wins. I think the consensus is like Baylor is dead, right? They were so bad. And okay. Let me get the poll up on the screen. It is. All right, so Baylor. Now you want to talk about coaches on the hot seat. I would imagine Mr. Aranda he's on the Sam Pittman level here. He's definitely up on that hot seat rankings as somebody that needs to win or he's going to be gone. He's back for his 5th season, 3-9 last year, 6-7 the year before. So we're a couple years removed from that Big 12 championship with Jerry Bohannon. They fired Jeff Grimes, so we've got a new offensive coordinator in there. They hired Spavital. Really liked what he did last year when they had Mendoza, the freshman, take over at quarterback there at Cal. Kid was throwing the ball over the field. So I don't know much about Jake Spavital, but I know that he had a quarterback controversy at Cal last year. They threw a freshman in there, and that kid lit the world on fire. So it's definitely a positive endorsement for him. Now, as far as production, Baylor gets a ton back. They're actually 9th in the country in returning production, 19 returning starters. They got the quarterback they wanted. Daquan Finn comes into play quarterback. You probably know him from Toledo if you watch Maction. Probably the best quarterback in the MAC for 2 or 3 years now. He is now here at Baylor. A lot of people are really big on this kid. I've always said he's a little bit overrated, but, I mean, no question he's talented, and no question Baylor wanted this kid. So they got the quarterback they wanted. I will say, not that Big 12 is really noted for its defensive prowess, but throwing on Big 12 corners is a little different than throwing on the MAC corners. I will say that.
Yeah, there's no precedent for this. There's no MAC guy. There's 2 guys this year that I've circled. Curtis Rourke. Curtis Rourke went the other way. I'm interested to see how a Big 10 quarterback going to Ohio would be, or the other way around. But also a MAC quarterback going into the Big 12. There's no script here. We don't know. He could be god awful.
He might be terrible.
He might be terrible, even though he was slinging it across the field in the MAC. So it's literally the one quarterback situation in the country where I'm like, could be cool. I don't know. Could be cool, but it could suck.
I'd say that hopes are high. I think Baylor, Baylor faithful as a whole, they think they got their guy for real. Mm-hmm. Now all the running backs are back. They had 3 different guys taking the carries primarily last year. All 3 of them are back. So running back room is the exact same. And I think Baylor's offensive line looks pretty solid. They only lost 1 starter, but they brought in a kid. Speaking of from the MAC, they brought in a kid from the Ohio Bobcats, a starter last year through the portal. So, I mean, considering this offensive line was a mess last year, you bring back 4 starters and you add in a transfer that has starting experience. I think the Baylor offensive line takes a huge step forward.
Yeah, I agree 100%. They also brought in a kid from Montana State. They like those kids. Montana State, we'll talk about them in a week, but they were a good offensive line last year. That was their big thing. They ran the ball well, so that's a good addition as well. So offensively, I don't really think that you can't really tell because their quarterback situation could be still a mess. We don't know what Daquan Finn's going to be, but other than that, I really like what they have on offense. The players are there. Not that these guys were successful last year, but you would expect them to improve.
Yeah. Now, on the defensive side, if you're anti-Baylor or a Baylor hater, this is going to be your favorite part of the show. So, I mean, they lost 2 pieces on the defensive line, but overall, theoretically, they should take a step forward. They brought in a kid from JUCO that's 6'5", 315, a monster in there. I mean, this defensive line really struggled last year. So, I mean, there's no there. Oh, wow. I love how the slideshow nailed it and brought the defensive line graphic up right when I was talking about it. 122nd defensive defense rank against the run, 107th at defensive line yards. Just look at the pass rush numbers, really not great. So this is not a great defensive line last year, and they didn't, at least on paper. I'm not going to pretend to know all these names in the transfer portal. What I'm doing is reading, and I'm reading people who I trust's opinion on it. From what I'm reading, nothing really jumped off the page as Baylor's defense should take a step forward. Nothing on the defensive line, at least. Now, the linebackers should be solid. They lost 2 from last year, but the leading tackler, his name's Matt Jones. He's back. They also added some pieces from the portal, and apparently they have a couple younger guys that were freshmen last year that they like a lot. So the linebackers could theoretically get better. So there's something. And all 4 starters in the secondary are back. So it's tough to sit here and be like, hey, Baylor's defense should take a step forward because they were so bad last year. But I really think they should.
Yeah, the front four, a lot like the first thing we talked about. Front four scares me a little bit, but the linebacking core, young guys that are really good, they like. If their coach, I mean, every coach likes their players, but I guess I'm going to trust them there. And their secondary, bringing back all four guys, and then also adding a UNLV transfer and a Western Kentucky transfer, who were starters. So that is a really good unit there. Secondary is good. They might be hard to throw on, but they might get run on a little bit.
All right. Do you want to play the win-loss game with the Baylor Bears?
What type of question is that?
Of course I want to play the win-loss game. Prop Beaver's not here to ruin our fun. Let's play the win-loss game. We're trying to do a breakdown. Prop Beaver's like, this game's stupid. Like, all right.
Real barn burner week 1, that's for sure.
Tarleton, it's going to be a problem. Now let me get it up.
Maybe in basketball, Tarleton's a problem, but not.
Are they good in basketball?
Yeah, they were pretty good this year.
All right. Week 1's a win. Week 2's a loss. Win.
Yeah.
Win.
Is it Coach Prime?
I want to give him a win, returning the offense.
No, I think Coach Prime will win that one, actually.
Fine, 2-2. How about this? Give me the BYU one then.
Okay, yeah, I could see BYU losing that one.
I'm at 3. At Iowa State, that's tough.
That's a loss. They're losing the next 2.
Coach Campbell's a GOAT, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, at Lubbock's tough.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State.
Ollie Gordon may break records in that one.
So, hold on. How many wins do I got? I got 3. Give me a 4th in TCU at home. I need to get to 6. They could be. What do you think? Yeah, I'll take Houston, but that's it.
They're not. No, those other 2, they're not.
What about West Virginia?
No, not at West Virginia. Absolutely not. I love West Virginia, dude.
So in order for me to get to 6, I need to get Houston and I need to get Colorado. I need Colorado to get to 6.
Yeah, any team with a strong run game, which I guess kind of is the opposite of Colorado.
Bro, I don't know. I think it's
any team with a strong run game is probably going to run for a lot.
They're going to have to upset like Oklahoma State to get to 6.
No way.
This sucks. I think they go over though.
Team.
I think they go over, and I think it's nah. I can't.
I got them under.
Yeah, it's you and everyone else. I'm putting over up, but I'm not betting it because the schedule's just not favorable enough for it. All right. Next and final team is
Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes coming off disappointing encore to the magic that we saw with Sonny Dykes. So they're at 7.5 wins. TCU over 7.5.